Hi everybody and big welcome to a cEDH gameplay video following my perspective where I'm gonna narrate the entire match, showcase my hand size and talk a little bit about my thought process throughout the match. Now normally we do this with a 4-player perspective, but from now and then we're gonna do a solo thing from my view only. It's hard to arrange 4 people to play at the same time, but don't worry, the 4-player perspectives are coming back and they're gonna be the most regular thing as well. Today I'm playing Pako and Haldan Divergent. This deck is basically using Divergent Transformation to transform the 2 partner commanders into Fastest Oracle and Leveler. Leveler removing the entire library from the game and then Fastest Oracle winning. And this can be done in instant speed. But then things are getting a little bit spicy. With us we also have a Nekusar player. Nekusar has a really cool card going for him, Helm of the Ghast Lord. And basically it's a wheel deck forcing people to draw cards and making it hurt when you draw cards. This is definitely not a cEDH commander, it's something of a group hug commander, but it's cool to see how it could potentially perform versus some established decks. Speaking of established decks, we have Anis with us playing his Tymna Kraum Bluefarm, a turbo deck that wanna win fast. With us also we have Pontus with Tevesh Ishai and a Humility inside the 99. Now Humility isn't like the plan A, it is just a cool card inside that deck. You can actually win through Humility with the old Jace Wielder of Mysteries and Demonic Consultation. Fastest Oracle can't win through Humility, but Jace can. Those are the combatants. Now let's start the match and take a look at my opening hand. So this opening hand isn't that great. It's our first 7 and I really want to explode a turn 2 Pako at the very least. This is not that, so we're mulliganing 100%. I really like this hand. We're lacking lands in the hand though. We can do Mox Diamond Fish. We're also first in turn order, which is great right now if we want to do a turn 1 fish. If we don't do a turn 1 fish, we're still in a pretty decent almost position with the Soul Ring. And it's like, versus these decks though, turn 1 fish is amazing. However, if the fish is countered, we're in a very sad position. It could almost be a little bit all in on the turn 1 fish. We normally don't play fish as the main structure here. We usually go Pako Explosion. I think I'm gonna keep this hand actually. I think this hand is like turn 1 fish, and we do have a few other cools. Like this hand is going to get Pako in play eventually as well. It's gonna be fine. Like it could be a turn 3 Pako here if the fish is counterspell. So we're sticking with this. It also, if we top deck a land here, that would be amazing right now. So yeah, this is definitely our opening hand. Let's kick off the match. Draw a card. That is actually a very interesting card to draw with this deck. I really want to have a land right now. Mana Vault is great here, but we're gonna begin with Mox Diamond, pitching this Mystic Sanctum for it, and tap the Mox Diamond for a Mystic Remora. Then I pass the turn. Feed the fish. The turn goes to Anis. The Kraum Tymna player, Bluefarm player, cast Imperial Seal. I will draw a card from that. We draw Force of Vigor with the Mystic Remora. Would have loved to draw land. I really need a land right now. Turn goes to Nekusar that plays a land. He plays a Mana Vault and I draw a card. We draw Mana Drain. Where are my lands? Tevesh Ishai Pontus plays a fetch land and passes the turn. So do we pay for fish or do we let the fish go? If we pay for the fish, we're sitting with a tapped Mox Diamond potentially. If we don't draw land, if we draw land, we're mega happy right now. I have a feeling Anis the Tymna Kraum player might unload on their turn, and versus these guys, fish can really feed, so I think we're gonna pay for fish. We're paying for fish. Draw a card for turn. And I have to pass the turn. I'm discarding the Sweltering Suns to my graveyard, and you guys go for it. Where are the lands? Kraum Tymna plays Plateau and a Mana Crypt. I draw a card. We draw a Fastest Oracle. This is horrible. We don't want to draw the Fastest Oracle. And then Tymna Kraum plays the Professional Face Breaker and passes the turn. It's a new card that creates treasures when it smashes face. Nekusar plays a Malevolent Hermit on his turn and passes the turn to Ishai and Tevesh. Pontus plays an Enlightened Tutor and I draw a card. Growth Spiral. Where are the lands? Where are the lands? And he finds a mana crypt, so we are gonna get another trigger here, I think. I actually think I'm gonna cast my Force of Vigor here just to reduce my hand size. I mean, I have to discard it here anyway, so might as well use it, I think. And with his fetch land, he finds Scrubland. He draws the mana crypt. He casts mana crypt. I draw a card. We draw a land! Yes! And then he plays a talisman. Another draw. I draw a card. I draw a lightning bolt. In the end step, we're gonna cast Force of Vigor, pitching Manamorphous. I want to target the 2 mana cryptos. The reason I'm not exploding the Mana Vault is because Mana Vault is obviously weaker than a Mana Crypt. Also, I'm not that scared of Nekusar. I kind of almost want to see what Nekusar does here. I mean, you don't often see Nekusar in a game, so here we go. Then I'll go to my turn and Fish dies, and I will draw a card for turn. Now we draw all the 4 lands here. I'm gonna play a Misty Rainforest. Crack the fetch land, find a tropical island. We're gonna tap the tropical island, cast a Soul Ring. Tap the Soul Ring, cast a Mana Voltu, and then I pass the turn. Turn goes to Kraum, and he plays Tymna. Moves to combat. I have a response before damage here. I want to cast Lightning Bolt in response before damage, killing the professional Face Breaker. I think this is a great play. This is denying Annis card draw mana and is keeping me alive. Turn goes to Nekusar, who plays a Yule Lotus, cracks it for black, and casts a Nekusar. Turn goes to Pontus, Tevesh, Ishai player here. And next turn, we're on our turn 3, we're gonna have Pako. Pontus plays Ursa Saga. Pontus casts a Grim Monolith. Not cool. Then he casts Karn, which is destroyed everything right now. Yeah, we're out of the game there, because now I can't activate any of my artifacts. I can actually use my 2 search land effects to get somewhere. Karn also destroys my Mox Diamond. That is amazing. Draw a card. I want to play War Room. We also draw Cephalid Colosseum. That is good right now. I want to cast 3 visits to search out a forest to play around that Karn thing. Find a taiga, and then I have to pass. That Karn was so perfect right now. Destroyed everything. This game didn't, like, it started out correct, but it just turned sideways. Didn't draw lands in time, and now Karn delayed it for a turn. We're gonna get the Kraum, but it's gonna be so delayed it might be too late. Tymna is attacking at Pontus for 2 damage. Tymna plays Windswept Heath, second main phase, that he fetches with. And he also casts Ranger Captain of Eos, an amazing card in all aspects. Searching for a 0, CMC1 creature. And he finds Esper Sentinel, finds Tundra, and casts Esper Sentinel. However, Nekusar is mentally misstepping the Esper Sentinel. Nekusar goes to his turn and plays an Ancient Tomb. Nekusar begins with combat. He hits 2 at Karn and then 2 at Pontus' face. That's what you get for playing Karn. And then he plays Wheel of Fortune. Typical Nekusar stuff. Now this is very, very, very mega bad because we are discarding Thassa's Oracle. Like this game just is upside right down right now. We draw into Divergent. That doesn't do anything anymore. It's like a removal piece right now. Because now, yeah, I don't know exactly what... We're gonna diverge into... We're gonna try to into Underwood Breach, basically. Yeah, that's our win con right now, I think. With Underwood Breach, we can recast Thassa's Oracle as well. So yeah, we're gonna need Underwood Breach here. Pontus casts an Arcane Signet on his turn, and then a Paladin class. This is a cool enchantment that is increasing the casting cost of everything on Pontus' turn. Then the turn goes to me. Untap and draw, and I draw an extra card. I will cast Wild Growth on the Taiga here. I might as well cast Yule Lotus as well. And I would like to cast Restore, tapping the Taiga, targeting a fetch land in my graveyard to return that fetch land into play. Actually, we're returning Cephalid Colosseum. I have a Threshold, so I can deny Thassa's Oracle wins with it. But then I pass the turn here. You could argue that I could use the Ponder a little bit, but I don't think I need to. I'd rather use Ponder for something later. Also, I think I want to use Ponder for my Force of Will here. So I have both Force of Will and Mental Misstep at the ready. It feels like Nekusar is trying to kill us via a natural card draw here. Tymna goes to combat. 2 at Mordman with the Tymna, and 3 at Pontus with the Ranger Captain of Eos. post-combat main phase, he draws 2 cards. However, because he's drawing cards, Nekusar triggers here and deals damage to him. Kinda interesting Nekusar right now. Plays Badland. And then Tymna, the player, has to discard cards down to hand size. Annis is also leaving up 5 mana on his turn. He's got a Brain Freeze to his grave, so now he just needs to get into Reach and Lions of Diamond, and he has a win potentially. Turns goes to Nekusar. Nekusar plays a command tower. Nekusar goes to combat, 2 at Pontus and 2 at Annis. And then Nekusar passes the turn. But in the end step, Tevesh, Ishai, Pontus player casts a Vampiric Tutor. I want to respond with a mental misstep. I'm not gonna have a Pontus tutoring his deck, won't allow that. Now during Pontus' turn, the Ursa Saga triggers and it's gonna be sacrificed. He taps it in response and floats a colorless mana. He finds Soul Ring with his Ursa Saga. Then he plays a land for turn, Morphic Pool. Then he casts Ishai. I will draw a card for turn. I draw an extra card of Nekusar and takes 2 damage. And I want to cast Pako. Combat. Pako is attacking at Karn. Trigger Pako. Everyone flips a card with Brain Freeze. I hit Jeweled Lotus from Annis. I have Doven's Veto from Pontus and Mox Opal. Great hits. There were no creatures in that pile, so Pako becomes a 7/7. Woof! Pontus blocks with his Ishai. Ishai is totally dead, Karn is still alive, and I pass turn after this. But in my end step, Annis casts Vampiric Tutor. Tymna searches his deck, goes to her turn, draws 2 extra cards, and takes 2 damage. Tymna is currently down to 17 life, Pontus at 19, I'm at 24, Nekusar is 35. Life could matter here. I mean, I have a Pako that's swinging big. I can't really win with my fastest Oracle because my fastest is in my graveyard. That was really annoying. So we might be on a semi-Pako beatdown plan, which could actually work out. Tymna is playing Seat of Brass land drop and sacrifice Ranger Captain of Eos. That's really horrible. But Pontus responds with a silence, but Tymna is responding with a Pact of Negation on the silence. Nekusar is responding with a Red Elemental Blast on the Pact of Negation. Red Elemental Blast counters Pact of Negation. I have a Force of Will pitching Submerged on the Fierce Guardianship. Get out of here. What a teamwork. Silence resolves. No one can do anything except Pontus, which means that turn goes to Nekusar. Annis is also at really low life right now. Nekusar plays Mana Confluence. Nekusar passes the turn. Turn goes to Tevesh, Doom of Fools, that draws 2 cards and loses 2 life. Plays a Seat of Brass. Those lands that ping damage right now is almost pretty... I mean, life matters right now in this match. Karn pluses 1 to kill my Jeweled Lotus. Then he casts Tevesh, which means I'm not killing Karn with my Pako at all. He plus 2 Tevesh and makes 2 Thralls. I'll go to my turn. I draw 2 cards and I take 2 damage from Nekusar. I want to play a Volcanic Island land drop. I want to cast Haldan. In response to Haldan, Annis cast Rushing River, returns Tevesh and my Pako back to my hand. I want to cast Ponder, tapping my Volcanic Island. On top of my deck I have 2 lands and Aggravated Assault. Aggravated Assault is amazing with Pako here, but I'd rather have some other stuff than this. I don't feel like I'm getting Pako here to do stuff, so I'm gonna shuffle. I draw a card and I lose a life. I draw Polluted Delta, which wasn't amazing. I will pass the turn here. So I have a Dovian's Veto that I exiled from Pontus that I can cast with Haldan, which is really good right now, which is gonna be able to interact with anything anyone wanna do right now. So that's good. We're not losing, probably. Tymna plays Polluted Delta, land drop for turn. Then Tymna casts Consultation. Now, if Tymna follows up with a Fastest Oracle, I can't use the Dovian's Veto to counterspell, so I think I have to use Dovian's Veto here on this thing, because if there's a Fastest afterwards, I can't stop it with the Dovian's Veto. Yeah, that's what we're doing. Dovian's Veto on Demonic Consultation. I'm not falling for any tricks. Annis fetches with a Polluted Delta, and then he plays Underworld Breach. And that's the nail in the coffin, I think. This is GG's if that thing resolves. If the Demonic Consultation was a bait for the Dovian's Veto, that was a great play. But even if it was a bait, I think I just kinda had to use the Dovian's Veto on that thing anyway. Nekusar responds with a Force of Negation hard casted on the Underworld Breach. This is a really good action, because this is gonna send the Breach to exile, which is gonna make it really tricky for the Tymna player to win. In response, the Tymna player casts Dark Ritual and casts a Flusterstorm on the Force of Negation. And then Nekusar casts Mana Drain on the Underworld Breach. What a blue deck. Interactions everywhere. Now this is sending Underworld Breach to the graveyard, so he could get Sevin's Reclamation back, but then he has to redraw into that, and his life total is currently 14, so not the greatest. Turn goes to Nekusar, and Nekusar draws 2 cards. Nekusar plays a Blood Crypt land drop for turn. Nekusar casts Demonic Consultation, and he names Helm of the Gas Lord. This is an amazing combo with Nekusar, preventing people from basically drawing cards for the next game. It's not in the top 6, so we get to dig. Now, it would be fun for me and sad for him if this is exiling his entire deck. Now, we have a really cool streak on this gameplay videos that I usually do, that whenever someone casts Tainted Pact or Consult just for value, they usually just lose their entire library. And it seems like a lot of cards here are actually disappearing. This is totally gonna be at the bottom. It's gonna be at the bottom. Underworld Breach is gone for him. Tainted Pact is gone for him. Glinthorn Buccaneer is gone for him. There it is. There is the Helm. Well, let's see how many cards he has remaining in that deck. 29 cards remaining in this deck. So he has more life than he has decks. And then he casts Helm of the Gas Lord on his Nekusar. Obviously choice. This is an amazing play. I like it. I guess we have a target for a Divergent now. Or well, here we go. Pontus showcase Mana Drain on the Helm of Gas Lords. But in response, Nekusar sacrifice Malevolent Hermit to counterspell the Mana Drain. So how this little combo works is that whenever Nekusar deals damage, the Helm aura will trigger, which means that we have to discard the equal amount of cards we have drawn. This means that we're basically looting instead of increasing. So our hand size will stay net positive and never go up or never go up. And he also draws 2 cards in this process. Well, in the other hand, his library is like 27 right now, so he could die eventually here. Cool thing though is that Pako is card draw that isn't card draw. So I could use my Divergent on this Nekusar, but I don't think I am, because this is literally locking out my other 2 opponents really well. So I could just slam Pako here, attack with Nekusar, and eventually Nekusar have to kill the thing, and I just gain value with Pako instead. Or we have Humility. Yeah, that's solving everything. I'm out of this game now, again. Humility transforms all creatures into 1/1 without abilities. It's a really cool card inside that Ishai and Tevesh deck. Then Pontus casts Jace, Wielder of Mysteries, which is great here because his Jace can win through Humility. His Fastest Oracle can't. Fastest Oracle comes into play as a 1/1 without any ability. Then he uses Jace's ability to mill 2 on Mord, decreasing his deck size, and draws a card from the Jace. I'm gonna be completely honest, I think Pontus is almost winning this game here. Turn goes to me, I draw a card, I play this island, I don't take damage because Nekusar is not thing. I'm gonna pass the turn here, staying at 7 cards, not casting Pako. Turn goes to Tymna, that casts Dragon Rage Chandler, that is a 1/1 without any abilities. Turn goes to Nekusar, draws a card. We are really low on the enchantment removal. That Humility sealed the deal here, I think. Nekusar casts Fire Covenant, paying 5 life, board wiping all creatures. Then he attacks, and he hits Jace for 3 damage. Now Nekusar is a 1/1, but it gets +2/+2 from the Helm, so it's a 3/3. So next turn, he will be able to kill Jace. And then Nekusar casts Time Twister. I am so happy about Time Twister. I have a response to the Time Twister. I want to cast Mog Fanatic on the Soul Ring you have there, Pontus. Get it out of here. Also want to cast a Braid on the Arcane Signet you have there as well, Pontus, destroying your artifact. I also want to cast Crop Rotation, sacrificing this island for a Boseiju who shelters all. Then I have no further effects against that Time Twister. So we didn't draw into anything, or we drew into the Royal here. So that is something that removes Humility, but it's a temporary removal. We did draw into Mystic Remora, and that's great because we do need some card draw here. We probably go Carpet, Mystic Remora, maybe cast... No, we don't cast any of our commanders because Humility is gonna be there, and we just keep mana open and have Into the Royal at ready for various tricks. But it still doesn't look like we're in a winning spot here, annoyingly. Now turn goes to Tevesh, that draws a card. He plays a Scalding Tarn land drop. He sacrifices it, finds an Underground Sea with his fetch land, and then he casts Demonic Tutor. Yikes. I think he's going for it. But Anis responds with a fierce guardianship on the demonic tutor. Pontus responds with a Dovian's veto on the fierce guardianship. I pass on veto, I pass on everything. Pass on life, I pass on this game. You can search. I think he's gonna find demonic consultation here. Do it, Pontus. Do it with fire and passion and love and burning and everything. He +1 Jace targeting himself, and in response cast Consult, demonic consultation. Consult resolves and Pontus' library is gone. Now Jace's ability is on the stack, so if that resolves, Pontus wins the game here. But in response, Nekusar casts Chain of Vapor on Jace, and Pontus responds with a Swan Song. I have an Into the Royal on the Jace, sending Jace back to your hand, Pontus. No win for you. This kills Jace, this kills Pontus, this kills Karn. We have our artifacts back in action here. Nice. Really happy I didn't tap out for Pako here. Really, really happy. But now we're back with Nekusar being alive, being able to do his annoying things. We go to our turn, we draw a card, we draw an extra card for Nekusar, and we have to lose 2 life and discard 2 cards. And Nekusar draws 2 cards. I discard Gemstone Caverns and Prismatic Vista. I want to cast Pako, Arcane Retriever, and Carpet of Flowers. Then I want to go to combat. I'm attacking at Nekusar. Pako attack trigger. I hit a land from Anis, Wishclaw from Nekusar, that's actually really great, that's like winning, and a Fellowstone from me. There were no creatures in that, so Pako becomes a 6/6. 6 damage coming at Nekusar. Second main phase, I'm gonna cast Haldan, tapping 2 and using Carpet of Flowers to cast Haldan. I'm gonna cast the Mox Opal that I gained from Nekusar. So I have a Brain Freeze. Let's see how many cards Nekusar has in his library remaining here. He has 33, so it's winning killing him with Brain Freeze a little bit tricky. So I've casted 1, 2, 3, 4 things so far. I mean, maybe here. Honestly. Land drop, island, tap island, Mystic Remora, pass turn. Turn goes to Kraum, and on Kraum's turn, Nekusar triggers, deals 2 damage to him, and forces Kraum to discard 2 cards, and Nekusar draws 2 more cards. So Nekusar is currently at 31 cards remaining in his library. He plays a land and a Lotus Petal. So I draw a card, I draw a Scalding Tarn, and then he plays a fish. I draw from the fish. And then he passes turn. Nekusar draws 2 cards. Nekusar casts Glistering Oil. This is Infect. I have a response to my fish trigger. Tap my Cephalid Colosseum, cast Mystical Tutor. You can draw Anis. When I take a damage from Nekusar, but Nekusar responds with a mental misstep on my Mystical Tutor. I draw a card from that thing, you draw a card. I discard a Scalding Tarn because of Nekusar. I'm kinda out of interactions here. However, still with the Glistering Oil on the stack, there's a Cyclonic Overload from Anis. I will draw a card. I discard this Lionside Diamond to the Nekusar thing. In response, Nekusar casts Force of Will on the Overload Cycrift. I draw a card because of Force. I discard this Phoretic Ritual to Nekusar. However, so in response to your draw, because I drew a card, you're gonna draw, and you have to draw, I'm gonna cast Brain Freeze, milling you out. All copies targeting Nekusar player to remove your entire deck, and then you're gonna... And Nekusar responds with a Flusterstorm. There's actually one Brain Freeze that can't be countered because of Boseiju, who shelters all, so one will mill free anyway. Now I'm really out of interaction. Cycrift gets forced. That was it would have been so cool to kill him that way with a Brain Freeze. In the end, the Glistering Oil connects. He attacks at Young Scipio for infect damage at Anis. Nekusar plays Chromox and Mana Crypt. We no longer draw here, because if we draw, we take infect now, and then we could literally die. On the other hand, we're like down to 11 life each, so honestly, infect doesn't do much anymore. He casts Cabal Ritual for 5. Cast Peer into the Abyss, targeting me, which means I first lose half my life, then I draw an enormous high amount of cards. Because I draw too many cards, I die to infect. And then he casts Wheel of Fortune to kill Anis. And because Anis already took 4 infect from the combat damage, this would be lethal. Anis casts a Force of Negation on the wheel to survive. But Nekusar deflecting swats the Force of Negation to something else, and he gets it. The wheel resolves, Anis is forced to draw a bunch of cards, and because he draws cards, Nekusar triggers and he takes damage, which is infect, and he dies. So in the end, Nekusar won the game. Nice. That game developed really strange. So the Mystic Remora was great, it was really fed, but it didn't draw into any lands, so our Pako was delayed. Then the Karn delayed the Pako even more, which meant that we started to fall a little bit behind. But that helm on that Nekusar was a really cool and powerful engine.